Can you remember where you were 15 years ago? How about nervously pacing the hotel room, wondering what you were going to do with 55 crazy ladies who were here on the first ever Kelly Shires breast cancer snow run? Well, that's what Kelly and Susie were doing. So a little history lesson for those of you who don't know how this wonderful charity started. One fine summer's day, two great friends were sipping tea and eating crumpets in the backyard. This has got to be the wrong book. I think we better just ask the one that knows how this whole thing began.
We are all here today because of the dream of Kelly Shires.
I knew I wanted to do something. I wasn't quite sure. I first started putzing around with golfing, but I don't know a birdie from a club, so that didn't work. And Susie came over one night, we were talking about it, and then we're both avid snowmobilers, and we just thought that was a fabulous idea to get women out on snowmobiles, because when we go out with the guys, it's always pinned, and we're not having a good time. And this way you can just get out and just have a nice time and relax and some camaraderie, and so it's really nice.
Well, it's quite amazing how the snow run came about. Kelly Shires was diagnosed with breast cancer in 1997, and Kelly and I were really good friends. And when she was diagnosed, she realized that other aspects of cancer diagnosis was covered, whether it was for psychological or treatment, but there was a real financial barrier for women with breast cancer. And at that time, she said she was going to take her lemons and make lemonade. And we came up with the idea of the snow run. Now, originally we were going to do a golf tournament, but that was quickly shot down when we decided neither of us knew nothing about golf.
There's a lot of cases where people who have cancer can't continue to work. They don't get full benefits when they're off from work. They run into financial trouble. They can't pay their rent. They can't afford groceries. They have difficulty paying for simple things like wigs and prosthetics. And the money raised through this event goes specifically to help with that. This is not looking for a cure for cancer. There's lots of great organizations that do that, and there's a lot of money spent on that, and that's fantastic. This is different. This is raised specifically to help people in their day-to-day struggles, so they can focus on getting better, they can focus on their treatment, they can focus on living a good life while they're being treated and while they're recovering.
Well, I was diagnosed back in '97, and you have to be financially prepared to go through a diagnosis because it's really expensive between the wigs and the things that you need. Some of the things that you need. The prescriptions alone, I'd walk out of there with 6 pills at $36 a pill, and that was just one of them.
Unfortunately, this is our first event without Kelly, but we know that she will be with us in spirit today.
Now, when you first started, this was like a back deck talk about the entire thing. It was two friends getting together. Did it bring them closer together doing this event?
They became incredibly close, inseparable. The two of them were just incredible people. Look what they've done. Who'd ever thought that snowmobiling would have such an impact on cancer?
Unlike other charities, we don't raise money for research. Our money actually goes to the women who need it. So we actually have our own charity license. We hold all the funds, and anyone who wants to apply can apply to us directly. Stuff that's not covered by OHIP or medical plans. It could be something such as a wig, it could be a prescription, it could be counseling you might need for your kids that don't understand why mommy's sick, stuff like that. So stuff that's not covered, and especially when you are sick, you are on disability and you don't have the money that you normally have, and then you have these big expenses. So this helps you to fight it a little bit better.
We feel like you can see the money we raise, you can see it making a difference. The women that apply to the fund are just so thankful. You'd have to read their emails and every time you do, it's such a warm feeling. I can't even tell you.
In honor of Kelly Shires, Kim Sparks, and many other women who lost their battle to breast cancer, let's observe a moment of silence together.
From the very beginning this morning, when everybody put their hand up who either knew somebody or was affected by breast cancer themselves, and then there was a moment of silence, and it was absolutely fantastic. You couldn't hear a pin drop. There's so many people that were here, and so many snow machines starting up and then shutting down again. There was not a word, not a pin drop, and it was actually a very emotional moment for me, having been a coming up 7-year breast cancer survivor. And never having met Kelly Shires, I mean, she's an inspiration. This woman I never met is an inspiration. And the fact that she has created this, not only is her legacy, but as a legacy to so many people who have passed on to breast cancer. That's why we're here, to fight this. And what better way to get out with a bunch of women and have a ball on a skidoo. It was just phenomenal. When I have to say though, when I first started it, and I'm pumping this and going, I'm never gonna get used to it, never gonna make it all day. But it was so much fun.
I've been doing this ride for 8 years, and the camaraderie every year gets better and better. Kelly was a friend of mine, and you know, there's way too many women that are battling this, and I believe in the charity, and I believe in keeping her dream alive. Her dream was to help women, get women on the trails, helping women to financially assist them in dealing with breast cancer. Wow, you don't know what you're missing. If you haven't been out here, it's an opportunity to meet new women, to meet new friends that you can form relationships with, and their families join in, and you just feel really good about helping somebody in the community. It could be your sister, your mother, your neighbor, or even somebody you don't even know, and you get thank you letters from them. And every year when we send out a donation request, we always get letters from women that say, you know, my mom was battling, and thank you for making her battle and her fight a little bit easier. So it just makes you keep coming back. And if you haven't come yet, you're missing out on something. You really should be here. She's actually right in my pocket. I have an angel that reminds me of what an amazing person she was, and she's always in my thoughts. And absolutely, the trees are swaying with her with every breath that she takes. Yeah, she's with us.
We started 7 years ago, and 6 years ago I developed breast cancer. And so we're in it for the long haul. It's really dear to our hearts.
That's right. So we were here when Kelly was around, and she was an inspiration to my mom, and so we keep the dream going for her. When you see all the women that come out for the ride, and you see new people raising enough money to get incentive gifts that are given out for people, and you get all the sleds together, and when they say ladies start your engines and we get going, it's an amazing experience to be part of something that's just such for a great cause, and so many women are dear to the cause and put their whole heart into it. So it's just awesome.
Yeah, it is. We've got to keep Kelly's dream alive, and because Kelly was a huge inspiration for me, and you know what, it's something dear to our hearts for sure. Kelly's dream was just to go out there and help people that were suffering the disease, and you know what, it's just important that people have the support when they're going through the journey, that they have medication and wigs and whatever, and if they can't afford it, then they should be able to have an avenue where they can get it, and this is what we do.
So Kelly wanted women helping women, and that's what it's all about.
I think as someone who's gone through breast cancer, the first thing that you think about is that I'm not going to be here in 5 years. I'm not going to be here in 10 years. Well, for me, that was 12 years ago. And here I am. And here I'm doing this event now with my daughter. And that's really significant for me, as it is for most survivors, to be able to share in the good side of learning about this, of raising money. It's for us, for the two of us. Don't start, because then I'm going to start again. It's so wonderful.
Don't let, first off, a diagnosis of cancer these days does not mean death. It does not, because there's so much that with the research and everything else, there's so many different ways that they have of keeping you. I should have been dead probably 7 years ago, but because of the medications and the protocols that they have these days, don't roll over and let it get the best of you. Just get up and enjoy life, and it's all in your attitude. If your attitude's good, then you just beat it back somehow.
15 years.
15 years, can you believe it? I still, it blows me away every time I think about it.
But the first year, you didn't have any of this stuff.
First year, we were rained out. We absolutely did not ride the first year. It's crazy.
So I'm going to say something that's probably going to put goosebumps on. But I mean, Kelly was there the first year. Theoretically, Kelly's here this year. And I mean, look at the snow we have. Could you ever have planned this?
Not at all. And you know, it's crazy because this is our 10th year without Kelly physically, but she's been with us every year, especially this year, celebrating this anniversary.
Huge. So we've been 15 years. Moving forward, where do you see it going in another 15 years? We've got ATV now. We've got 2 snow events. Do you think the need is still going to be there in the next few years?
I absolutely believe it will be. I mean, if we look at our stats for 2013, we had over 600 applicants apply to the charity, and we helped a good bulk of those applicants. And the numbers seem to increase every year. So having all these different rides and additions to the event and having different people or different ways of people participating is making it easier to fundraise to help this, because I do see the need growing year over year.
If Kelly were here, which we know, okay, you can stop snowing. Thank you, Kelly, we're good. But if she were here and she had the opportunity to say something to everybody that gets to see us on Saturday and on the internet and everything else, what do you think she would say to everyone?
I think she would say thank you from the bottom of her heart, and that she couldn't have imagined how big this has gotten and how much support the event has had over the years. I mean, you know, you don't see Dawn behind the camera here. We get to see you in front of the camera. There's lots of volunteers behind the scenes, amazing sponsors, and without everyone getting together, this Kelly's legacy and dream wouldn't be possible. So I know she would like to thank everyone from the bottom of her heart, and I know she would give everyone a big, gigantic hug.
She would.
She would.
So here's cheers for 15 years and many more
Cheers
coming.
to 15 years and many more.